Judging the heart, overlooking the outside, an El Cajon police officer's motto. Tonight, this KNSD continues to join with NBC in its special coverage of America the Violent, fed up and fighting back. We introduce you to a cop who has learned how to bridge the gap. When he first became an officer, he says, he thought he could fight youth violence with force. Now he knows he has to fight with his heart.
Things are different these days for Ezequiel Flores. He used to be a gangbanger, hanging on the streets, looking for trouble, but no more.
Sometimes I get in trouble, but now that I got a job, I just come here, and then it keeps me busy for a while.
And I'll tell you right now, though, you're going to get people to buy into you more instead of talking by just doing it.
It was this El Cajon cop who made the difference, as he has for so many East County young people, who admittedly are no angels. But Officer Kevin LaChapelle treats them all as if they were.
It takes time away from his own schedule for us. He doesn't just live his life. He takes time out of his life for ours.
You want the community to buy into you in this, and then I go to the community and hear them saying, well, why won't these kids just give us a chance? We want to help them. So you know what the problem is because you know what it is? It's communication. Well, because they don't know how.
LaChapelle spends as much time with community leaders telling them how they can help as he does with the kids. But he says it will take more of their time and more of their money.
Really, really let our heart reach out to these kids and love them and back them up and support them. Just by believing in these kids, just by believing in them and loving them, that's what's going to take to reach them.
By videotape, he shows the group what each kid has had to endure just to be jumped into a local gang. But he says it doesn't have to be like this. A gang member can turn responsible citizen with a little time and effort from each of us.
He's a real nice person, you know. If you get to know him really good, you'll see he is trying to help you.
Tomorrow night, we'll show you the bait LaChapelle uses to catch business people and bring them together with troubled kids. And we'll also show you what happens. Fed up and fighting back against violence. We've been talking about it all this week on KNSD's continuing joint coverage with NBC on America the Violent. San Diego citizens, like many across the country, are looking for solutions, particularly when it comes to young people. One police officer says you can make gang members allies or enemies. Either way, you will pay. Why not spend the time to make them productive members of the community?
We've got a few things we have to get out of the way here. Coast Guard requires you tell you a few things.
It's a different kind of fishing trip off San Diego's coast today. On this one, gangbangers will turn in their turf for surf. And the catch? Community healing between gang members, troubled teens, and business professionals.
It's boring. Once you catch a fish, it's not boring at all.
When you get them out here and they're out of their environment, they act completely different. And that's kind of the neat thing about getting them out on the water. It brings the little kid out in them.
For many of these kids, it's the first time they've ever been offshore. In fact, the first time they've been off turf of El Cajon, at least voluntarily.
I started drugs around like 11, 12.
But these kids say they want to change, and it's people like off-duty police officer Kevin LaChapelle who is making it happen for them. But it's not the money he spends, it's the time.
See, a lot of people, that's what they all think, you know, we all put money into it, we're helping. Not actually. See, you gotta meet the people, you know, associate with the people, what kind of people they are.
Now, El Cajon business people are taking the bait and passing on the advice.
If you're sitting at home doing nothing, you know, and you have spare time, you get hooked up with one of these organizations. I mean, it feels good to do it. You know, it makes you feel good inside.
And you may find you actually like these young teenagers.
It's fun! I got a back row!
Nice bunch of kids. Nice bunch of young people.
The El Cajon program called Bridging the Gap is making a difference. One of LaChapelle's fellow officers, who was one of the most skeptical about the program, has changed his mind. Today he admitted the gang kids were turning around, and he donated a tackle box to the organization.
Critics say it's not more cops that will curb crime, it's reaching the kids early enough so they don't get into trouble. A few people are doing that right now, reaching out to young people, hoping to make a difference. Newsweek's Liz Purcell is here with one story. But Susan, in this story, you're going to meet two women who use art to reach kids. They're part of a nonprofit group called Bridging the Gap, and the kids they help are in juvenile hall.
Do it, shade it, do whatever you want to it.
You guys have your folders?
This came out great. I mean, look at the compositions.
Every Wednesday night, the tables go up and the art supplies come out.
But if you want me to, I'll bring some more next week.
Charlene Platter and Marisa Ortiz are here at Juvenile Hall to teach art.
The girls who are locked up inside don't have to participate, but most of them want to.
I'll never leave art. Art is a way that I also express myself. Like if I'm really, really tense or if I'm really down and low, I use art as a way to escape.
It brought back a lot of memories, and I walked down here for the first time. I have not been in a juvenile hall since I was in juvenile hall as a young teenager. Let me count out.
Now, years later, Charlene is an artist who also works part-time as a clerk typist for the El Cajon Police Department. Marisa has no ties to juvenile hall. She's an illustrator who works for the county, and she just wants to help the kids.
I like them, and I like their artwork, and I like their enthusiasm about learning.
Every week, these women round up art supplies and give up their own free time so they can work with troubled teenagers.
How much have you learned from these women who come in here on Wednesday nights to help you?
Oh, I learned.
Charlene and Marisa think they've made an impression on some kids. They've seen artwork improve and styles change. Maybe the most dramatic example is Reuben, whose characters used to reflect the violence of the streets.
He was holding two guns, you know, and it was like his picture of himself in the center. Getting high, I guess, you know.
These days, the guns are gone, and Reuben is into shading and calligraphy. He's learning things he didn't know before.
Like this right here. I never did that kind of art. I just like this, faded in and stuff.
You can use the eraser and create those streaks of hair.
I really watched him grow in the short time I've been doing this. So when something like that happens, it's really worth it.
A lot of times they only know the hip-hop art and that kind of stuff, and I show them ways that they just wouldn't have thought of by themselves.
Marisa and Charlene are not only teaching art, they become good listeners, too. The kids at the hall have a lot on their minds. But that is some good artwork. Some of them are really good. I just hope they pursue it. Yeah. This gives them hope, anyway, and some direction. Creative outlet, too. It's nice to see. Thanks, Liz.